Well, this is number 24. This is going to be an interesting story for you guys. Another true story. After I bought my car from Ed Schwinn, or however you say his last name, Shins, I needed to do some customizing on the car to make it improve the look of it and put a sound system in. So Ed recommended this auto business that I'm not going to bother mentioning their name. And I went there, and that turned out to be a huge nightmare. But that auto business knew I was a photographer and asked me to do a photo shoot of their social event in their parking lot, where a bunch of custom cars would show up. And Ed's the one that recommended me to these guys. So let me tell you a little something. I'm pretty smart, and I do know cars really well. And I was a mechanic for a lot of years in my own shops. And in the beginning, I was there, and I wasn't walking very well, and I couldn't hold the camera very steady because I can't hold it anymore. And I left. And the guy that owns the place kept asking me to come back. And I'm going to tell you about ghost cars and how there's organizations around that are professional drivers that go around causing accidents. And I'm telling you, call me paranoid, but these guys are professionals that cause accidents to harm people or kill people. And I photographed and videotaped all the cars that were there. Well, there was this one car that I'm going to call a ghost car. It was a pretty good sized car with a big engine compartment and a sleek, it looked like a bullet. And I'm going to warn you, if you ever see a car that has no paint on it, that's just got clear coat, that's the perfect assassin's car, because if it's ever involved in an accident, there's no markings, and no paint markings or anything left on the other vehicles. And all the vehicles in this parking lot, the ones that are intended to be used that way, have no names written on them. All the decal stickers, everything that identifies the vehicle is removed, so that people who happen to see it go by, they say, well, it was a silver car and it didn't have a name on it and I don't know what it was. So I particularly looked at this one car that really looked kind of scary, but it had a New Brunswick plate on it. And I'm in Nova Scotia, so it had my attention. And just so you know, a few days later, and I had been going around the province. I didn't have a wheelchair yet, but I could drive. And I was a professional driver, believe me. I do know how to do the stunt driving. And the car that I have is no ordinary car. And one of the guys that was there comes up to me and says, you know what you have under the hood in that car of yours? Because it looks like an SUV. And I said, oh, yeah, I know. He said, man, that's got the same engine in it that my race car's got. And I said, yeah, I know. It's a high-performance computer-controlled car that's pretty powerful and has excellent response. I know. It's a race car that I have. And it can do 200 kilometers really quick. And I went on the trip a few days later, and I drove up towards Truro on the highway. And what do I see in my rearview mirror right on my bumper? That car that I'm describing, the silver one. And it was pretty fast, but mine's it was a little bit faster than his because I knew how to drive. But I couldn't get rid of this guy. He was right on my tail, and if he touched me, it would be dangerous. I've put on a trailer hitch that sticks way out in the back of my car, and that really helps in keeping people from touching your rear bumper and causing you to lose control. Because if they hook onto that trailer hitch, they're going too. So if you want to discourage anybody from doing what the cops do, just put a trailer hitch sticking way out. It'll keep them from doing it because they know their car will probably get hooked on that trailer hitch. So this guy's on my bumper following me, and Ed had mentioned, it's against the law to have a trailer hitch sticking out like that, eh? But that was the day after this event I'm about to tell you. And this guy's on my tail, so I don't like anybody being on my tail because I always find that very dangerous when they're really close. So I sped up and I tried to get away from him. He kept speeding up. It was like a race going on for like an hour at really high speeds, at ridiculous speeds. But he couldn't quite keep up to my car. But what I was looking for is an opportunity to keep him from being behind me, and it came up. There was two cars, and they were just far enough apart that I was able to get between them. So I had one behind me, and I had one in front of me, and he couldn't get in. And then he realized that his game was over, and I figured out what his game was, and he took off. Just like a bullet. Took off, full speed, never saw him again. And then Ed tells me the story about my trailer hitch the day after. And while I'm at it, I may as well tell you about another incident that happened on the highway about a week later. heading out of Dartmouth. Bright sunny day. Now, if you go back to my article that I published a few years ago, How to Assassinate a Cyclist, you'll learn that in there I mentioned that when I was lying on the ground, the guys were laughing at me that had just done this stunt on me. It was an operation. It was 6 guys. They tried to kill me. They deliberately put me under the car and drove it over me. And it still didn't kill me. And the guy's looking at me and said, man, damn, next time we're going to use a truck. Well, that next time showed up a week after this bullet tried to run me off the road. I always keep a distance from vehicles in front of me and behind me just to be safe. I just don't want these random accidents happening to me. And all of a sudden I look behind me and there's one of those tandem huge dump trucks, you know, the type that are tractor trailers, the really big ones. It was right behind me and it was flying. It was like doing 120 kilometers and I went, holy shit. So I sped up to 140 and he kept up with me. And as I'm going faster and faster. On the other side of this had a wide divided highway. On the other side of the highway, I see a cop car coming really, really fast. And he got on the island just in time. He had all his lights flashing, and he just parked there like he was warning me about something. He wasn't after me, but he rushed to get there to turn on his lights for me to pay attention to something. So I look in my rearview mirror, and I'm keeping my distance from this dump truck, and I notice there's 2 dump trucks behind me, one in each lane, and there's a third one in the middle driving along the white solid line so that no one behind these dump trucks could see what happened to me if they ran me over. I had to go to 180 kilometers an hour to get away from these dump trucks that were flying down the highway, but they couldn't keep up with me. And that was another attempt on the road trying to run me off the road or to assassinate me. You know, you keep watching all these videos that I'm doing, these testimonials, so if in the event that something happens to me, you'll know that I've been a targeted individual for a while and they've got the professionals after me. So I've had many, many other things done to me over the years that I'll do some more videos about. Like when an armed gang of guys, 6 guys came in with masks on in my home and they came in to kill me. And it was pretty scary shit. And there was someone in my home that was screaming, don't kill him. And this person was one of the operatives, and they turned around, and this guy was choking me. Like, he had turned me around, and he had me by a chokehold. I wasn't breathing. I wasn't going to last another minute. It was really close. So when this woman told him not to, he stopped. And he looked at her, he said, are you sure? And she said yes, because she realized I'm not a bad guy, and I'm being targeted. But the people that go after people like me that are told to do jobs by the government usually think, you know, and have to believe that they're doing something right, that the person that they're about to assassinate or the life that they're about to destroy deserves it, or because somebody in the government, you know, higher-ups like CSIS or whoever is telling them that, no, he's a piece of shit. And one of the reasons I've done all my videos and all my testimonies and done things over the years is to get attention, to make people realize that I'm really not what they're telling you, because my story is public. So it's getting harder and harder for the criminals that are giving me the orders to get people to follow their criminal orders against me, because they're realizing I'm not the criminal. And then when they read my articles online and they find out what? It's because he told us about how they're rigging the elections in Canada and he's an eyewitness because he ran an election? Wow, that's pretty serious. And a lot of other amazing articles that I've been publishing over the years. And I call myself a true soldier for a reason. YouTube is really good at making sure people don't see my videos. They don't show up on the sidebar, the ones that are important. They also keep my view counts really low, and I know they're doing it because I have other websites that my videos are on, and I can see that a lot of people are looking at them. But on YouTube, it looks like there's nobody looking at them. But they learned long ago, if you keep the view counts down really low, people aren't going to really look because they think that nobody else is looking. That's how people are. And all I can do is depend on you to download my information and re-upload it somewhere, or keep it, because in the event that something happens to me, you'll have the evidence of what really happened to me. And as us truthers are, you know, keeping on top of things, we're aware of the kill list that they have. We're aware of all the things they've done to our country, and that they've taken away all our civil rights and our human rights. And, you know, Canada now authorizes torture and all kinds of other stuff. This world's in a lot of trouble, and it's not just about me. It's like the criminals have taken over the governments, and they've taken over most aspects of our society that are important to people. Anyway, And my name is Daniel J. Towsey. So you got 2 stories in one in this one. Maybe 3. Yeah, 3. Thank you for watching. And if you can, help out with the PayPal. If I get enough help, maybe I won't have to lose my internet very soon. Bye.